What the guy in Feel Good Inc. is laughing about has been a quintessential question amongst music fans, and is one that we will dissect today in today's Christmas edition of
Gorillaz Madness.
Of Soundtracks for the Pretentious, Gorillaz Madness, where we go through the entire 6-album career, 10 if you could count D-sides, G-sides, The Fall, and Leica, yes, which no one has heard. No one on Earth has ever heard Leica before.
No one knows what it is.
It's the second album they made
exist.
after they debut. Deep in Days is not their sophomore album, believe it or not.
It's also just a straight up rap album.
Yeah, but we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
It's fine.
Wait, did you actually listen to it?
No, I didn't. I listened to the first two songs.
None of us have heard Leica.
Those are the first two songs. I was like, eh.
For all intents
Yeah.
and purposes, this is a 6-album list.
Yes.
Okay. Now, since it is Christmas edition, we have all gotten each other gifts. Well, I have at least. Because
Okay, I got it for the people present at the moment.
that is true. We will have an outside source coming in, our drama expert on all things Gorillaz. Her name is Karen. If she tries to change it, don't believe her. Her legal name is Karen Quinn. She's pretty cool, though. She's lived in a lot of places. Neat. You may have seen her around campus. You are a fellow Baylor student, like myself.
Indeed.
Also, I'm Kai Hamilton, 11th grader, and artistic failure.
Oh, okay.
I'm Mr. Waller, teacher here at Baylor, and once again, an avid Muse stan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who is also not late this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am Nick Bagistani. Not that special. I don't have much to say about that, but
Yes, you are.
oh,
We are all a
Thank
part of
you.
the same compost heap.
we sure are. But yes, you want to start off with some fun gifts?
So, yes, we will give... Oh, I'm the only one that has a gift for Karen at the moment. I will give
Yes.
it to her when she arrives, but for now we're going to do our little gift exchange, which you can't see, but I guess... mine are wrapped, you
So
guys can...
I'll present mine first.
Okay.
I've got for Mr. Kai Hamilton here car seat headrests making
my
a door less
God.
open
How did you
on
know?
limited edition pink
Oh
vinyl.
my God!
Okay,
Oh my God!
that's kind of cool.
I can hear Will Toledo whisper his darkest secrets into my ear like never before.
Even if
Will-
I don't think Will's hot, I still got it for Kai.
Will, I love you so much. I have 3 out of your 4 LPs that you've released on vinyl now. I still don't have Teens of Denial.
What a loser.
I do love that record. More than this record, actually. This is a good record, but that is a great record. This is also a great record, but probably my least favorite of your vinyl LPs.
Oh wow! Thanks
but
for making my gift sound really great, Kai.
But it's still car seat headrest, so it's still better than like 99.9% of all other records. It's just because it says car seat headrest on it. And I mean, like, love the album cover. Love several. Oh my God, Karina's here.
Oh, only 30
Karen,
minutes late.
sorry.
30 minutes late, Karen. Woo!
Oh yeah, the door's locked. Go open the door,
Typical
Nick.
Karen move.
Okay. Entering now is the late Karen Quinn.
I had to take a test.
Oh well, why didn't you tell me about this earlier?
I didn't know. That
Oh
I would
well,
be so slow
that
at
is
taking
not epic. That's why you didn't answer
up a
any
chair
of my
for
calls.
you.
Well, you're in the middle of our gift exchange, so yeah. Nick got me another car seat headrest record. Will Toledo, I still love you. Please call me. I listed all my information in the previous episode's description. If you hit me up, that would make my day. It'll be the greatest Christmas gift of all time. Now, Karina, why don't you introduce yourself? Get a mic in your face.
Oh, 2 mics. Well, you just called me Karina like 5 times since entering the room.
Karen.
Uh,
I'm kidding.
we've established
Yes.
that I'm late to things. But I will be the resident lore expert
No,
here.
drama expert for
Drama
Because-
expert.
All of this actually happened.
all of this really happened in the.
My bad. I'm
Karina, I
sorry
think the
to-
fans are dying to know, how did your test go?
So, this is actually a class with a test that I've had, like, constantly problems throughout the year. So, the first part of it is a Scantron, and before I left, she's like, I wanted to show you your Scantron score. It's so good this time. It's an 85.
Oh,
And I was like, wow, thank you so much. This is like, it's like, for an 85. And she's like, wow, so good. I'm like,
Hey, it is.
Cool, thank you.
all, I love your boots.
Oh, Thank
They
you.
are-
And your sweater.
For the listeners, they are gray but rainbow holographic, reflecting in some angles. So
Oh my God! Look at this
they
sleeve
hurt.
is so
They're
cool.
hurt. They very much hurt. I have so many band-aids on my foot right now.
Karina, grab your gift over there from me.
Mr. Waller, I present to you Neon Bible by Arcade Fire.
Oh,
I haven't listened to it,
yes.
but I hope you enjoy it, and I feel like you will like it.
You know what? I know I will enjoy it because this is probably my favorite Arcade Fire album.
Awesome.
Now, once again, Karina, this is not a vinyl. This is definitely not a vinyl. It's just a square-shaped present
Okay,
that's flat.
good. I didn't want a vinyl.
Also, your
Oh,
gift is
cool.
on the way in the mail. It is a vinyl. Actually, it's not a vinyl. Sorry, totally not a vinyl.
So I'm opening the square shape, not a vinyl.
Okay. Curious what it is.
I'm kind of like a
Just
no, I'm a careful unwrapper.
fair,
Like,
fair.
wait, never mind. This is it. This is time for changing character.
Exactly.
This podcast comes content
Oh boy.
Oh boy,
and
Oh.
life-changing decisions.
Oh yeah. What is it?
that's the wrong record. They're mislabeled.
Yep, for those of you listening, looks like Kai has also gotten me an Arcade Fire album.
I don't know. If
Thank
this
you,
is
Kai.
mislabeled also.
This is like really that's so offensive.
So Mr. Waller now has The Suburbs and Neon Bible by Arcade
Well,
Fire.
I already
Two
showed
of
you
my
that was the
favorite
record I was
albums ever.
giving.
Thank
Is this
thank
the
you
correct
both.
one?
Yes, that is, unless it's mixed, which would be funny, but I hope it's not.
Watch it be mine.
I don't know. We're like Kai's best friends, and he messes up. He doesn't
Well,
don't
I
care about
I
us.
wrapped them before I
Oh
labeled
yeah. Now that's epic.
That is
I got her Twin Fantasy, my album of the decade. It's got every song is great. It tells the story of Will Toledo's ex-boyfriend, now girlfriend, trans, but
Okay, but
pretty epic.
is any song over 5 minutes on here?
There's a 13-minute long song, a 17-minute long song, a 8-minute long song. I mean, I think there's like 2 songs under 5 minutes on that whole record. It's about 70 minutes in total.
So
But no,
I will
no.
never listen to
It's
this.
meant to be an album experience. Like you listen to it start to finish. It tells a story. I recommend
Pink
reading the
Floyd,
lyrics.
Dark Side of, not Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Wall.
The Wall.
Dark
No,
Side of the
not
Wall.
that one. Well, no, actually,
But we've all
I
been
would
there.
say that too.
Oh yeah.
Now that's a record experience. How good can car
This is.
seat head
They can get really good. Okay. Really good.
I have a
against
personal
it.
vendetta against longer than 5 minutes.
This can be your hot take. Save this of your.
Oh yeah.
And I got Totally Not Funeral by Arcade Fire.
So we almost the entire discography of Arcade Fire was.
That's kind of cool. Kai, thank you so much. Karina, your gift is again on the way.
Your gifts are on the way too.
For the
yes.
Actually, I didn't order them yet.
You're
Because I
really
wanted
late.
to find it at the I feel like they would have it at the record store down by the mall.
Mhm.
I just haven't had a chance to.
For the
get down
record?
Well, I did offer to
Yeah.
take you to Yellow
Just
Racket
about to
yesterday,
make
and
it
you
for the record
refused. So
Oh.
maybe you're just not that committed.
For the record, it's not funny anymore but I got none of you records.
Heck yeah.
So I got
It's
you
okay,
guys,
'cause
but I
it's-
got you guys gifts.
But it's more unique.
But they're more unique because they're not records.
It's
Yeah.
mutual exclusion, so therefore it's
I'm
okay.
so excited to listen to this.
It's apparel. So,
Ooh.
Yes.
Actually,
The
Kai,
drip.
jokes aside, I'm excited to listen to
Hey,
this.
hey, that was drawn by his ex. Fun
Well,
fact.
okay, I like how this part of the album matches, like, becomes his eye and his mouth.
No, it's mouths, arms are connected. It's
And then
it-
it's
the
like
long,
the mouth there
the longer
too.
you stare at it,
Right.
the more strange it gets. It's a great album cover. We don't have cameras, but look up Twin Fantasies album cover. It's
All
great.
of these album covers are
I
awesome.
wonder if you have
Yes.
to look it
Should
upside
check them
down.
out.
For real.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing happened.
Question before we start the main topic. Do you think album covers improve or take away from the experience?
Well, I think they should be judged separately from the album itself,
Fair.
but they can also add to it.
I think a bad album cover doesn't really take away from the music, but it does add to it if
But
it's good.
it's also a bad omen if like they just didn't care at all. and
Yes.
They put a terrible. Yeah. Just move it whenever you want, Karina.
Yeah, I know you can move it as much.
At the same time, I feel like there's something to be said for pushing the boundary and creating an aesthetic. Like I feel like there are album covers that the first time I saw them, I was like, "This is garbage," but then actually it turns out that the person knew what they were doing, and I didn't, and then 10 years later it's like, wow, they were really forward thinking, and this is
Yeah.
an aesthetic that people love now.
So
you
like
know?
the big day, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I had in mind. Yeah.
Like if I see a record with the album cover of Angelic to the Core, I can look at that and go, they didn't care about this cover at all. It's probably not that good of a record.
I've got to admit something. You guys ready?
Let's
Oh,
hear
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I am a judge a record by its cover record shopper. Sometimes, okay? Because I like to go record shopping with the intent to get one record, but leave with one record plus a record that I've never heard of. And it's really hard to start narrowing that down with like so much collection of record stores. So yes, you do
Yeah.
judge the record by its cover. So I feel like it is important for whatever your album cover is. I think it should speak to what the song inside is reflecting. So therefore, I think
Yeah.
it is important for them to have.
Well, it's important for the exposure for
'Cause
sure.
Like all album covers with this like grunge style, of, like really minimalistic, they all have the same vibe. So I know what to expect from this and what I'm going to come in listening to. I know nothing about what is this,
That's a
Another
different
car seat
album by the
headrest.
same car seat. Yeah, by car seat headrest.
but I'm sure I don't know.
It's got a pink
Really
vinyl.
homogeneous,
The pink vinyl is pretty cool.
Is this a white vinyl?
No, it's a black vinyl. The white vinyl edition's very expensive.
I don't know how expensive that is, but I was just very excited that I saw a colored version of that, and I was
Yeah.
like, Kai has to have this.
I
Okay.
think that records should be judged by their content, not their color, Nick.
That doesn't say anything about
I'm
me at all,
also-
totally.
Yeah, I'm the Walmart colorful records. They're such bad quality prints apparently,
There's more.
but they do have some really cool special
For
edition.
sure.
My Florence and the Machine Rumors clear vinyl is one of my favorite, like aesthetically.
Those of you listening in can't see it, but there's a lot of subtext in this conversation about judging the content of a record.
Yes, there's quite a lot.
All right, so do we start? We start our ranking,
So, well, no, we're not ranking. We're just going back to front, and then we'll rank.
and then we'll rank at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so first record from Gorillaz, self-titled, 2001.
2001.
I think early 2001, March of 2001. Pre 9/11 still.
Hold up. I'm going to judge your production base here. You have them playing from the iPad and not directly injected into the.
It's on the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
I'm
we wanna give
also
samples.
the head sound technician here at the school.
And I am the second in hand sound technician at the
okay,
other school.
only out of you're the only you're the only other one.
Shut up! That makes me second rank. I'm like the vice president. Okay.
Now,
He's never random.
Before we really get into the record, Karina, where did these strange people come from?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Where did Gorillaz originate?
Oh, how did they become a band?
wrong.
How'd they become a band? Where are they
There's
from?
one in there and
Yeah.
one in here.
Why are some of them green or blue?
Yeah, I'm curious. Was it a skin disease?
Well, Murdoch's pale green appearance that constantly shifts between hues of green is unknown. He's just a nasty guy, looking guy, I guess.
Sure.
Well, we all know that Tootie, the lead singer of the band, was born with regular pupils for eyes until he met Murdoch, or when I say met, Murdoch crashed into Tootie with a car, and then he had to care for Tootie as for his sentence in court. And while he was caring for Tootie, he was like driving, and he drove through another wall, giving Tootie his second blacked out eye, and now he has his iconic two colored eyes. And you know what? When Murdoch was looking to start up his band, who's the perfect person to be his lead singer / I think he's also the keyboardist.
Yes.
And a guitarist, right?
No.
No, Noodle's the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
Like Murdoch was thinking, this blind person is perfect to be my pianist.
And that's where he got his name, 2D, as in two
'Cause-
dents.
Yeah, two dents in his eye. Then after they kind of kidnapped Russell for their band, who has this tragic backstory of many of his gang members, or being brutally murdered in front of him. So he's carrying this spirit, which appears in one of the first features with Gorillaz, that is who is possessing him. And then later on, they were looking for a what does Noodle play?
Noodle plays electric guitar.
Electric guitar.
Just to clarify, we mean possessed in a metaphorical way, you know, like.
He is literally possessed by several members of his gang.
Oh, okay. It means
Yes.
literally.
And,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and whenever
Sorry,
whenever
sorry.
a feature is on one of their songs, it's actually one of the demons inside of him performing a rap.
I am. It's kind of bizarre on stage when you see them. Like you see this guy with no eyes, and you see some dude start thrashing
Well,
aggressively.
actually,
and-
in live performances, there's this really weird guy. He's pathetic. Named Damon. He's like he sucks. Okay, he's weird.
Yes, he appears on stage. He tries to take all of the limelight and
We don't like
he's an
Damon.
attention hog, essentially.
essentially, we don't know where he's going.
His music.
Oh, by the way,
sucks.
Yeah.
He's
How-
kind of mad behind the eyes too.
and how
Respect.
did Gorillaz find Noodle?
Like I said, they were putting out the ad for the electric guitarist, and that very same day, a FedEx package appeared at the door, and lo and behold, it was Noodle, who only spoke Japanese, and the first words she spoke to the band were the words noodle, hence her name, not racist like at all. Don't question it. And since then they've been with her. Of course, there's some snags. She became a robot for a little bit, but it's all.
We'll
apart.
get to there. We'll get to
Yes.
that. We'll get to that.
It's all. It's coming.
And one more thing, if you ever are at a Gorillaz concert, if you look in the audience, you might see the boogeyman. So just watch out.
Yeah, do watch out for the boogeyman. And
Really,
Gorillaz.
really amazing that people with such hard lives came together to
To make
create such beautiful
Such a
music.
beautiful
I
band.
think,
Yeah,
I
it
think
is really
before we
interesting.
start, it's worth acknowledging just what an inspiration Gorillaz are. Whatever you're going through, you can overcome it with the power of music.
While
I think
And even
literally
with your
having-
demons,
But
you
it
know?
just-
literally dealing with
Yeah.
when you're looking Satan in the eye.
They're an inspiration to all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone. If I think any band can just look at the Gorillaz as like a perfect example that no matter what comes in your way, whether you have to go to an abandoned island, you have to power through and continue to make music because art comes from hardship.
I mean, in some of these albums, we don't even know how they got the records recorded. Like Plastic
Yeah.
Beach, where did the recording material come from? We don't
knows?
even know. It's
How
crazy.
they made it.
But
Yeah.
now Noodle, when she arrived, she was actually 10 years old in the package. So any fan art you make of her is very weird.
Actually, that is many years ago, and obviously.
Well, she's
as
29 now.
She's human. She ages. So the brief period where she was 10 to 18, bad. You people are awful. But yes, because especially with the other members of the band, they're like her father figures. So don't be nasty, okay? But Noodle is one of my favorite members of the band, if not my favorite.
So I think we've got the whole band now. I think we should dive into
We're
their
diving
their
in.
first album, Gorillaz self-titled. So who wants to start?
So this title, not this title, this record is it's very rough around the edges. It's by far the grungiest of Gorillaz albums, and they were sort of refining their sound. I think in the end, I think Gorillaz was trying to criticize the modern pop scene with creating songs like punk is like a literal deconstruction of punk as a genre and the stereotypical song choices that happen in punk.
It's pretty experimental too.
It's a very experimental item. I don't think it works 100% of the time. There are a couple songs I'm not a huge fan of, but there are massive highlights, like of course Clint Eastwood. I love the both versions of Clint Eastwood actually.
I think double bass is super cool. Double bass because the song is like insanely bass heavy. It's super trippy and I love it. Would highly
5-4,
recommend. 5-4.
great song. Great song.
19-2000, pretty cool song as well. It's got a funky beat, a beat to it, and yeah, great album.
Great album.
Not the best, but definitely pretty good.
Yeah.
Mr. Waller, Karina, thoughts on it?
On the self-titled.
Yes.
Thoughts on self-titled people.
Yeah, I like a lot of what they're doing. I mean, like Kai said, it's a little rougher around the edges, but I kind of definitely dig that. I think Clint Eastwood's a good example just because like using the acoustic piano and I feel like looking at their discography as a whole, they lay down a lot of the really cool roots early on of what they're doing rhythmically but like also what they're capable of. So one of the things I love about this album is that there are experimental moments where they show you what they can do, but there are also these really awesome groovy moments that are showing you that they can make really good pop music, but then they can also kind of branch out in some really awesome ways.
Yeah.
I think this album, like, it's staple. It has Clint Eastwood and other, like, of the most recognizable songs from the Gorillaz, and it started them off. So, but you have to remember that not all of the songs are, as the kids say, or not all of them slap as hard.
Sure.
As hard as like the big three that are in that album. But I feel like those songs are so good that they kind of outshine and overshadow those other songs. So, but all of them are good. Like, not to.
It was actually a very surprise hit. Gorillaz didn't know that they were going to keep making records after this one.
Yeah.
And I think that Clint Eastwood is a great precursor of what Gorillaz did in their later career, which is putting a bunch of things that you would think sound very ugly together to create something that actually sounds very peaceful and beautiful in a way.
If we're allowed to jump like to just a comment for like the very most recent, like this is not a focus, but you're right. People are saying that Gorillaz sound is really different in the newest album. And I feel like Gorillaz has always been changing the sound and trying to guess what's coming up next and beating everyone to it. So, of course, this newest album might be like, oh, it's not the same, but of course not.
Bands
Yeah.
change.
It's been surprising us since the beginning.
So, question: what do you guys give it out of 10?
I'd give this one an 8, and I would say it's their fourth best record out of the 6.
I think I'll either go. I'd say probably 7.5. Depending on how I'm feeling, it might be an 8, but right now it's a 7.5.
Yeah, I think I would probably give it a 7. Really enjoyable, but yeah, not quite full potential yet.
It's more important for Gorillaz history than music history, I
Yeah.
think, listening to it.
I'm going to
Karina?
leave the grading to these people who've actually dedicated the last couple of days into listening to them.
A couple weeks. We've been trying to
Couple
record this for several. This is like the 8th attempt.
Part of the reason I could not bring myself for Gorillaz binge is because, rightfully so, my younger brother also got into Gorillaz, and he's been doing nothing but listening to it. And out of spite and also out of hearing the same album on loop, I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Totally fair.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Demon Days. Came out in 2005. This is the big one, guys. This is the one everyone talks about. Probably more than Plastic Beach, actually. So
Well, we are skipping Leica, by the way.
yes.
I do. First of all, if we're just giving our comments, Demon Days I know is important to me because when I discovered or unlocked the pixel art feature in Animal Crossing, Demon Days, the album cover, was the first piece I completed. And I first did a miniature version, and I was like, that's not detailed enough. So I made each of the headshots in individual square panels and then put them together as art. It's still hanging there because I abandoned my Animal Crossing world months ago.
So Gorillaz originally, I think, was a one-off album just criticizing the broader pop landscape. But then 2D and the gang, Murdoch, you're not even the front man, you suck. They discovered that they had something really special, and they decided we're going to make something that still does comment on music in general, but also is just a great album as a whole. Demon Days was a concept album about dealing with inner demons and how humanity, in trying to do so, destroys their environment, which is outlined in song, most specifically in the song "Fire Coming Out of Monkey Head," which is a spoken word.
So great, especially the rendition in this past live concert.
Yeah, you guys,
managed to
it was
see
great. But yeah, that song is about how humanity, in trying to modernize and trying to create happiness, ultimately destroys the world around them inadvertently. And it's very beautiful. Bangers on this album, absolute bangers.
Oh, yeah.
Feel Good Inc. Who has not heard this
They
song?
slap.
Just they slap.
They slap hardcore.
They slap harder than my dad when I'm in his tool shed.
No, stop. Kai.
Oh my God! Whoa, big turn there.
I'm changing my title, official Kai censorer.
Yeah, no, Demon Days is really fantastic. I don't think I can complain about a single song other than All Alone. I'm not the biggest fan of the pitch on
Wrong.
that. I think it was the bass there. I'm not really sure, but not the biggest fan of that. Other than that, though, I can't complain. Like it's still a 10 to me, even if one song wasn't perfect.
There.
Sorry, but just adding on to Nick's point, the All Alone song is I find annoying. I do find annoying, but I also find it one of the catchiest ones, but also frustrating because it's really hard to, and it's embarrassing to hear yourself try to do the All Alone and then All Alone. Like it's not possible, and you sound ridiculous no matter how much you try.
See, Nick, even though you don't like the song, you still remember the
Yes.
All
I
Alone.
do.
All Alone.
I do. I can't fault
Now,
it.
there's a tremendous amount of range on this album. I think more than any other Gorillaz work. Like you have the slow and moving kids with guns with kids with guns, and then you have the white light, alcohol. You know, you're like it'll go from peaceful and melodical to brash and in your face from the drop of a hat.
This isn't an album where you can play when you want to set a specific mood.
No.
No, it won't be on any.
It is all the moods.
It is all the moods.
And I think that's interesting for, like, you know, when vinyls, you have to listen to it all the way through. You know, that's typically how you listen to it. That's how I play things and decide what to play. But with this, it's like when I don't feel like anything in particular, I feel Demon Days is the go-to.
Now, something I'd like to mark about Demon Days before moving on that I think is very important is how the features are used on this. There are, I think, 3 features on here, and they all vastly add to the work of the song while still maintaining the classic Gorillaz sound and texture that's recognizable throughout their entire discography. And I think that they do kind of lose that intent in their future records, but it's great here.
I'm just so sad Nick just lost his 6th attempt at trying to get the PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that was occurring.
We're going on attempt number 7 in 10 minutes, but I'm still here, guys. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I really appreciate about Demon Days is that it shows, and it's kind of one of the things I love about Gorillaz in general, but they really commit both to themes and to sounds in a way that I think it's kind of rare for people to do, especially when you're making pop music. I think a lot of people kind of think about sounds that are really palatable and sounds that are really accessible, and people are kind of reticent to embrace some of that more abrasive and sometimes even like I would say like theatrical sounds that Gorillaz uses. But I think that they embrace it so fully and they have this self-awareness that's really fun. And so I think I just really admire that ability to fully commit to a sound or to an idea, and to trust their artistic choices. I think that pays off for them all the time, which is one of the things I love about Demon Days. I feel like they do that really well, and that even the songs that are kind of grating, you get the sense that they're still kind of in control, and they end up being really catchy and really memorable. And and then the ability to do all that with a really coherent theme underneath, I just think is a really cool thing.
I know that they made it with this album because when I first got into Gorillaz and I mentioned like Dirty Harry or played Dirty Harry, my mom recognized it. So if that's a teller. And
Way to go, Mom.
yeah, way to go, Mom. So we know, whether we like to admit it or not, a part of what makes us like feel good about trying different music is like the weirder and stranger and the less, not so much palatable, but less like conventional lyrics sound, the more good and sophisticated we feel about ourselves, let's be honest. But I feel like this album does manage to be that vibe and tune, while also being, I use the word again, but palatable to like the general audience, and that's what kind of let it break through past that.
I believe this record sold a whopping like 13 million copies. It was insanely successsul.
It was like, I feel like everyone heard it because when I was young, my mother actually introduced me to Gorillaz. So I've been listening to them since I was a baby, and she loved this album. And the fact that my mom was into this album, I think, just goes to show. Just because she's not really like, nothing against her, she's just not really a big music person. So The fact that she was into Gorillaz
It
just
transcended
shows how.
age and culture.
Yeah, exactly.
And through it all, through all the chaos of this record, it ends very beautifully with Monkey, Get Lost in Heaven, or Don't Get Lost in Heaven, and Demon Days. Those two tracks, I think, really ended on a very positive note. Like, we've gone through our metaphorical demon days, and now we can leave that and leave the album behind in both a metaphorical and literal sense.
I think El Mañana is one of the saddest Gorillaz songs. I love that song so much. It's so beautiful.
The album actually placed 98th on the 100 greatest albums of the decade.
Wow.
Of its time, so that's
Pretty epic.
pretty epic. Yeah.
Pitchfork still gave it a 6.9 when it came out. I hate you, Pitchfork.
Pitchfork is dumb. I hate Pitchfork.
Eat shit, Pitchfork.
I agree.
Pitchforks.
Same sentiment.
Let's throw pitchforks at pitchforks, okay?
All right. Are we on
Now,
to?
are there any drama updates
Drama?
coming
yes.
off of this
Time
album?
of Demon Days. Well, at the time of producing Demon Days, they were officially all together of a band with their success, and Noodle is now older. At this time, she did have a straight. She must have been eating carrots and whatever, like very rapid growth in between these two.
Well, there was,
albums.
I think, a 5-year gap between.
Yes,
Demon
but
Days
like,
and, no, 4 years. Sorry.
just like the general look. I'm looking at the album cover compared to her appearance in the music video of got the cool shoe shine and that one. But
2000.
yes, 2000. My bad. There's a lot of drama at this time. I think tension between Murdoch and Tootie, because Murdoch is genuinely just being kind of an asshole, as he is.
He's just objectively an
He's
asshole.
objectively
No one
an
likes
asshole.
Murdoch.
His
Okay.
assholery kind of will kick him in the
Oh,
butt
we also
later.
forgot to mention that that Murdoch slept with Tootie's girlfriend, and
this is
and Russell Hobbs, being a good friend, nearly beat Murdoch to death, but Murdoch deserved it.
Russell Hobbs also gets possessed by MF Doom. Just kind of epic. I have
It's
to
just
say.
sometimes random rappers just possess his bodies. The range on that man, I don't think there's any artist that has had more range than Russell Hobbs.
Yeah, the weird guy Damon. Oh, Damon Days maybe.
Damon Days.
Listening to this in
Self-titled
1500.
Damon Days. Yes, he calls us the track that represents confrontations with personal demons, and I feel like the Gorillaz themselves were confronting with
Yes.
their personal demons. So this probably what inspired the album.
And taking the listener down that path with them.
Yeah.
And then
They're
also
just
this
so honest.
little
Yeah.
not known guy, Jamie Hewitt, whatever.
Yeah, I
Hewitt.
think that he makes doodles.
Yeah, he doodles a little bit. Yeah. I feel that he was kind of fighting with the Damon guy at this time, but it didn't really play too much into the overall story arc. We were still seeing a lot of the facts of their Gorillaz story.
However,
at
I
this
think
time.
that the next record, Plastic Beach, has probably the most drama out of any.
Plastic Beach is
Got the
my
heaviest
favorite.
narrative for
record.
sure.
Definitely.
But final scoring for this album.
Oh,
give
every
it a 10
every
already.
track is amazing. 10, number one on my Gorillaz ranking. I think this is where they hadn't lost their purpose yet. They had evolved. It wasn't a regression, and it wasn't a misguidance. They found the pinnacle of their sound.
Mr. Waller?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. I agree. I thought it was a huge step forward, and it's just so fun to listen to.
Oh, yeah.
Ranking on it from other Gorillaz records.
Like as far as where it's gonna be second for me.
All right, guys.
So
We're
moving
into
to
the next big one here.
2010, 5 years after Demon Days.
Plastic Beach, baby.
Oh baby.
Oh, man. This is like one of the decade-defining albums right here. This album's so good.
Which was actually quite divisive when it came out.
Yeah, it
am I-
was.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was.
I don't remember.
You don't remember
actually.
this? No?
2010, I was a freshman in high school, and I had braces.
I was a 7-year-old, and my sister and I argued. So that was
That was
the
your-
extent of the drama.
Yes.
I have to quickly interject before somebody is losing their head off my incorrect lore or Sorry, fact.
Drama.
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 Earlier.
Drama alert.
So Murdoch actually after, because you reminded me when you said Murdoch slept with Tootie's girlfriend at the time. Russell did beat Murdoch up because of this, and he did get kicked out of the band, and that's why they were looking for a new guitarist, and hence came Noodle.
But I thought Russell played drums.
No, Russell beat up Murdoch, and they were looking for a new guitarist because he got kicked out of the band.
Murdoch
got kicked out of the band.
Okay.
This will not be the first time that Murdoch
Gets kicked out of the band.
gets kicked out.
Yes.
Because he's an asshole. Anyways, track list. Let's just tell me. Tell me your thoughts.
this album is by far the most hip hop influenced by far, and is loaded to the brim with features.
Mhm.
Almost
yeah.
every single track has another feature, including Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. That is the one song in this album that I just do not like. What's the song with Snoop Dogg on it?
Walk in the world of plastic.
Yeah.
Beach.
No. Not it for me.
The music video is also very.
Yeah.
Gorillaz is known for the crazy shenanigans that they bring out in their
Actually
music
get
videos.
into.
Yes, it's just like they bring camera into their everyday lives. It's nuts what goes on there.
Oh yeah.
The honesty.
Yeah, they were the first to do vlogs.
Now this is probably
They invented
they were
vlogs.
They invented
were.
vlogging. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
if any of you
crazy.
are vloggers,
Thank
you
Gorillaz.
have Gorillaz to thank.
Thank Gorillaz.
And if any
That
of you
is-
are emotionally honest, you also have Gorillaz to thank. They invented emotional honesty.
Yeah. So now this is probably the artsiest of Gorillaz records. If we're being honest, there's a lot of like really orchestral songs on there. Like the intro is literally called orchestral intro.
Mhm.
There's lots of strings while also having hip hop beats. Again, Gorillaz is kind of creating this blender of all these different sounds into this kind of collage of a record that, again, they're not really criticizing pop anymore. They're just kind of being their own thing, which
Maybe it's because so many crazy things was happening in their life at the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't quite translate it into
Mhm.
coherent.
And partly because they're making like the best pop album of 2010.
No.
Like at this
Fair.
point, they're just
For sure.
They're just showing off.
they're just making good pop.
I have to talk about Rhinestone Eyes. I already talked to Mr. Waller today about that, but that song is like, I think in my top 3 favorite Gorillaz songs of all time. When the beat drops, you feel like you're flying. Just, whoa.
I'm a big fan of Melancholy Hill, as many are.
So-
Yes,
But-
everyone has heard that song. If you don't know it by title, if someone plays it, I promise you will know what it is.
A moment of silence for the never completed music video for the Rhinestone Eyes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Never completed
Now
music
it
video
is worth
for
noting
Rhinestone
that
Eyes.
the drama was kind of cut short on this record because of I think it was Murdoch ran out of money
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they had to move away from Plastic Beach a little early.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the full complete would be after all of the Murdoch drama, Noodle decided to return to Japan to go find herself, and she discovered she was a part of the super soldier system, and
that's why she can
was
play
the
guitar
only
so well.
She was the only surviving experiment, and her mentor wiped her memory. And after discovering this all about herself, she returned, and that's when they wrote Demon Days. So after Demon Days, they are now at Plastic Beach, which Murdoch basically kidnaps them all
Yeah.
and puts them onto Plastic Beach. Both Noodle and Russell are missing. Russell somehow ended up somewhere.
And how did Plastic Beach come to be anyway?
Plastic Beach was a trash heap that it's the exact middle of the farthest from any land mass in the ocean, and it's just a garbage pile, which I guess
That's
it
the
was
name.
cheap to build, and that's where the Kong Studios base was at. And
Coincidentally.
Murdoch had stolen his bandmate Tootie, who their relationship already is not good, and was basically locking him up and forcing him to write and work on this band with him, while the other 2 members were.
Yeah, Tootie, if you're out there, you're giving Murdoch too many chances. You're a really nice guy, I know, but come on, the guy he knocked out your eyes. He cheated on he I mean he took your girlfriend away. I mean he kidnapped you. How long does it have to take until you cut this toxicity out of your life?
They even got in a car chase. If you guys watch the music video the vlog for Stylo, yeah, are they getting chased by the boogeyman in that one or the cop? I don't really remember.
I'm not sure either.
Who knows? It's really cool anyways.
Stylo is
They're
another
getting
highlight.
chased by a regular cop. It's not
Yeah.
the man.
But yeah, no, they record their whole cop chase. There's a gunfight too. You wonder why why they haven't been arrested yet, but yeah.
They've created no crimes, only vlogging.
Only vlogging,
That's
yes.
true.
Only
Vlogging
vlogging.
is their only crime, except for yeah. I mean, there's nothing in the Constitution about like
Kidnapping.
selling your soul to Satan.
That's fair.
Or
That's fair.
like being really dedicated to music.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
only crime.
if you're I'm so dedicated to music, sue me.
Yeah.
If being
Yeah.
dedicated to music is a crime, then
Then we're all going to jail.
Yeah, take me out.
Baby.
take me. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he is getting chased by a cop in this
Okay,
one.
we're reviewing the footage from the blog.
Yeah.
Now, Stylo, great track, has an awesome beat. It's great. We love Stylo.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Empire Ants.
Also a great track.
So freaking good.
Come on. It's fantastic.
cool
Little Dragon.
animals, too.
It's a lady, right? I think so.
Yes.
Yes, she's really awesome.
Mhm.
But
Super
yeah.
fast jellyfish. Super fast. Super fast. Yeah.
Cloud of Unknowing, some kind of nature with the legendary Lou Reed.
The last great
yeah,
Lou
come
Reed
on.
track that we ever got.
Sad.
Rest in peace, my man. You were one of my favorite artists of all time. I would have liked to see you in concert before you died of liver cancer. Don't drink alcohol, kids.
Yeah.
But it was nice after a series of lackluster tracks from Lou in his solo career. It was nice to see him do one last great musical project before he passed away. So now again, this album does have commentary on it, but specifically about environment. Again, that's probably the best example of it is with Some Kind of Nature, where we talk about love, while there's also all these like smoke coming up out of the ground from. They're literally on an island of garbage and
Yeah,
oil.
the plastic beach is
It's about
it's
fake.
It's an
Everything's
amalgamation of-
fake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fakeness of.
I don't think it's as conceptual as Demon Days in that way, but there is still something to be said about the environment.
And the message is still very relevant today, as we
It-
see
it
our
becomes more
environment
relevant every
clearly
year.
deteriorate.
Yeah.
I think this is the album, or at least the music videos, are where they kind of got the hang of vlogging the best. Chronologically, they've discovered how to coherently display time.
You get the best look in Gorillaz as a band, their life.
We start with El Mañana, with Noodle on the what is later revealed as the light or the windmill island. Very beautiful, very peaceful, but also at the same time it quickly turns dark and gloomy, with a lot of revealing about Noodle's conflict and everything happening with her life. I'm sure finding out you are a super soldier is quite traumatic.
Yeah.
And for a while, we weren't even sure if Noodle was alive. That was a whole thing.
Yes.
She ends up on a ship.
And then
She finds some kamikaze pilots.
yes, and then in the next, we're suddenly faced with the Jellyfish song with no sense or any sign of the Gorillaz in the entire music video.
it's
So
bizarre.
where are they?
Yeah.
Who's filming it?
Who stole their vlogging
Yeah.
camera?
Yeah.
And like, and why did they put music over that vlog? It was a weird choice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe because the song sounds so like something you would see in a cartoon when a cartoon character gets punched and they're in a daze. You know, in Madagascar when they get darted
Oh, yeah.
and you have that song and the
Who can make the
visuals.
sun
No.
rise?
Yes, that song gives me those vibes.
You're not saying that
Maybe-
Gorillaz is cartoon characters, right?
Hmm?
You're not saying the Gorillaz are cartoon characters, right? I'm just
No,
I'm
I'm saying that like this is quite heavily reflecting that tone of whimsical song,
It's a commentary on how real life can sometimes be comical.
or
Yes.
they're
Exactly.
not fully conscious about everything right now.
No.
And then there's Stylo with the cop chase, and then we finally see the big reveal with a lot happening up on Plastic Beach. Noodle is a robot now. she
Doesn't she get shot?
again,
she
Murdoch's
shot in
assholery
Stylo.
continues, where
she does get shot in Stylo.
Murdoch literally replaces Noodle with a robot clone of her.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's how much of a scummy guy he is.
Yeah.
Don't get yourself some friends who will not clone you as a robot.
Actually, I think that if you hold a crucifix to Murdoch, he'll run away. So
Rightfully so. Robot Noodle, with the conscience she's apparently gained, comes to fight back. But regular Noodle, our Noodle we know and love, is our beloved Noodle is trying to get back to like Plastic Beach.
and she gets a hand from her pal Russell, I believe, right?
I think some radiation does.
Yeah.
something to him.
Now Russell, some bizarre radioactive activity was going on there, and he became like this colossal King Kong almost.
It was very weird.
I think he was like 10 stories tall.
Yeah.
And Noodle rode to Plastic Beach on his head.
Doesn't
It
even
was-
On
need
a
a boat.
raft. On a raft.
it was pretty, like, one of the craziest things we've ever seen in one of their blogs. It was crazy.
But a sign of true friendship, really.
And the most complicated, I give them that maybe their vlogging camera would have taken way too much money to make, but Rhinestone Eyes is when we finally see all of the band reunited and Russell bringing Noodle right back. Now he is like 3 stories tall, but
Yeah.
at least they made it. And the boogeyman, who is Murdoch's demon, who has been following him around, is finally here to face him and collect his debt. And we see that Murdoch made some sort of new deal with him, maybe extending his life, but for what cost? That is unclear. Maybe.
Yeah.
Curious what the manatee has to do with it. I know he gives the manatee a little massage.
Yeah, this last vlog that wasn't made for some budgetary reasons was meant to conclude the story of Gorillaz. This was kind of intended as perhaps the last album, and for many years, people thought that it was the last album.
My sister and I would often joke that Gorillaz coming back is like Half-Life 3 existing.
Yeah. Now, before moving on
Or The Last of Us.
to
Or
the
Last of Us,
comeback,
yeah.
what are our thoughts and verdict on Plastic Beach as a whole?
10.
10?
10.
10 over here?
Yeah, easy 10 for me.
Yeah.
I would go... I'm going to be a little harsh on Plastic Beach.
Oh no.
I'm going to say probably an 8
Oh,
or a 9.
My
my
God.
I know.
You're going to hell.
I still love it, but
You're going to hell.
I think that it can be a little disjointed from the features. Some features don't connect, and it's not as smooth or brisk of a pace as Demon Days, and it doesn't have the same commentary to the extent that Demon Days had. And there are some tracks that I'm like, I could skip that.
Yeah, no, those sentiments carry over heavily for me into the next album.
Which came out, I think,
7 years later, 2017.
So yeah, we were never sure if Gorillaz were going to come back. And at this point, I
They
think
shouldn't have
in
it
order
at
to
this
talk
point.
about humans, since it is literally talking about humans, we have to address the fact that Gorillaz is in fact not a real band. No.
What?
Yeah,
I
I'm
know,
sorry, guys.
I know, guys.
We didn't find out about this until 2017.
We're catfishing you. We were, but
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's feeling for this specific album is they came back and it's the visual. Someone opens the door, announces that they're here, and then everyone inside boos them, and they go back and close the door,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, I'll
Exactly.
try again another
yeah,
time.
Gorillaz. The fans were not very happy with this record.
Me included. This
Yeah.
I will say this right now. This album's a 3 out of 10 for me. I do not like this album.
Okay. So
Let's get into the.
So now talking
nitty
about
gritty.
how Gorillaz is actually made, which is a project by Damon Albarn, who still sucks, but he's a talented musician, and him and the artist who creates the music videos and drama or lore for Gorillaz, known as Jamie Hewlett, were pretty unsure that they would ever make another Gorillaz album because they had been feuding for quite a while.
Specifically feuding against Damon, I believe this might be incorrect, but wanting to just make the music and then conflict between the music and like the plot,
So-
which this still goes on and is very evident in the new
Which is
album.
the main issue with Humans is that it directly betrays the original purpose of Gorillaz. They abandon the story, they abandon the old critique of pop, and they just make a standard issue pop record.
I don't know what you're
Subpar
talking about.
pop.
They discover that they have an abandoned haunted house, which they quickly get evicted out of.
Well, it's not as interesting of lore.
But I believe it's one of the best made music videos, and I stand by Satin's Bar as being a very visually compelling music video. And I think it's because they're no longer vlogging. It is a proper, this is a budgeted music video. And we do see them 3D animated a lot. I don't know why that's stopped in this current album.
Well, because it's series, right? There's always a different animation style for each album.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but this recent album, if we're allowed to skip ahead, is animation-wise very, very
Minimal.
disappointing
Mhm.
for what it could be, especially.
Well,
We
you're also
can
skipping the now.
understand that they don't disagree with like the music. We can live with there not being a good plot, but if you reuse the same still frame for 2D's face in like 5 music videos in a row, plus your live show, which you pay for people to view, then that's just a little bit of animation is expensive, but we see even when they were smaller, and animation wasn't such like a big media to come by, they were able to pull off some really nice music videos. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, at this
there.
point, Gorillaz isn't a small band
no,
at all.
They can
Like
afford it, for
most
sure.
people know who.
I mean,
even if they don't listen to them, they know who Gorillaz
Right.
is.
Mhm.
So like, it's just
Once-
frustrating that high budget that they definitely do have wasn't put towards that creative music videos. I have to say, Saturn Bars is a pretty cool song. I think the features here are so weak, and on top of that, it feels like the features are the main part of the song, and it's featuring Gorillaz. I hate Ascension's Vince Staples feature. Moments, it's just like an annoying buzzing sound in my ear. It feels like a fly is in my ear. That's what I feel like listening to that song. And Let Me Out, I love Pusha T, but like, I just think the production doesn't match his vibe and voice, and it just sounds wrong. It just bothers me. This album's also an hour and 9 minutes, and that's to its detriment. It's just too long. There's 26 tracks on, I guess, the deluxe version. I don't really know how much shorter the regular one
I think
is.
it's about 5 songs shorter, so it's probably about an hour long.
Okay, yeah, that's still incredibly long, and I think it just overstays its.
I'm looking
Welcome.
at your screen
Yeah, welcome,
now,
and
I can
it's-
tell you don't like it. You only have like 3, 4.
A lot of them I've deleted since
Yes.
listening to it.
You have the cloud icon on
Yeah.
the ones you did download.
And since then, I've deleted most of them just because I can't stand listening to this album. I'm sorry.
I do agree with one point here. The features are just
It's
overwhelming.
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Every
It's
single
Different-
track
it's
has.
different than when you have features in this new album. Some songs in this new
Well,
album.
we'll get to
don't-
that. We'll get.
Yes, we don't hear them at all. But here, I feel on the songs that you don't hear the main band that we know and love, they don't add anything. They don't carry.
It's a
themselves.
collaborative
It doesn't
album.
feel like it's a choice made that this feature deserves its own.
It's a collaborative album featuring Gorillaz rather than a Gorillaz
yeah,
album.
Blech.
Blah. Yeah.
Okay, so the score, final
Well,
score.
no, okay. So I think the main
got 2
issue
albums
here
left.
is
1
a
point for Saturn.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like a contrast between Damon Albarn and Jamie trying to disagreements about what Gorillaz is and what they want. Damon seems to just want to make a rock band now. Like it's just it's not even really the idea of Gorillaz.
I think
it's just,
Damon just likes experimenting with all
Yeah.
these people, because that is why he left Blur in the first place,
yeah.
because he kind of wanted this freedom to express how he is. So obviously he's a very expressive person.
but he
with
chose
so
to
many
do
ideas.
that through a literally fake band. Like it's not him.
Well,
If
that's
you
the part of the fake band,
Yeah.
because you can give it any voice and you can have them do anything. They're not expected for anything. That's what really is. We shouldn't hate him for that, because that probably we're saying it wasn't the intent of Gorillaz in the first place,
Right.
but having the freedom to do what he wants was always the intent of the creation of the Gorillaz. So Humans, he does reach out and he does do his thing, and he puts it under the Gorillaz, which is, I feel, sometimes in some cases less of a band and more of like, oh, this is an experimental thing and I'm going to label it under Gorillaz because it is something new that I've made.
I think that if Damon wants to do his own thing, he can do it,
He
but
should.
he should label it under Damon Albarn, not Gorillaz, because
I
Gorillaz
agree.
is a character. It is
Yeah. I
not.
agree.
That's true.
It is not Damon.
But you can't blame him for releasing his inhibitions.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
But again, he probably does it because more people listen to Gorillaz than him. But
Fair.
you know,
Also, this is just like a lot of the features that he obviously cares very much about, like the features that do come and who he picks to come for his albums, and it feels like he personally likes the sound of these, and he's not so much thinking about the people he's already caught the interest of with his like first album of Gorillaz, and whether or not they will like the things. Which of course it's valid. Artists can release stuff even if they don't feel that their masses will appreciate it. But at a point, it just feels a little bit rude to just throw it aside everything we've already established and the sound we expect. And it's okay to have a standout album every now and then. So I guess this is their standout album because we see it.
Yeah.
And he wraps it up.
And it doesn't sour the older stuff. I still think Gorillaz is fantastic overall, but yeah, it's just one bad bump in the road. But yes, what's the final scoring on this one?
I wouldn't have had an issue if they just stopped at Plastic Beach. I will say that.
Also, maybe we're not the right audience for this kind of music.
No, okay,
I'm
again.
sure it's good for some.
Okay, now separating all of that, we were talking about Humans in context with Gorillaz. Outside of that, I think Humans is a decent pop record. If you completely isolate it away from Gorillaz, just track by track, the songs are pretty okay, and I think it's listenable. It's not as bad as people say it is, and
I think it is, but
I think that I think there are some standouts here, like Supercharger. I'm a big fan of that track. I've only listened to it a couple times, but it is something that I think I will revisit in the future.
And maybe we're dumb to feel so offended about how different this is. The album is literally called Humans, which is, if you think about it, Gorillaz. I know we aren't descendants of the Gorillaz, but Gorillaz are animalistic, and to purposefully name it Humans and have the covered art resemble humans, and then not have the Gorillaz so much heavily featured, I think it's like already saying that's like what to expect with this album.
I think it's fair to go into Gorillaz' album expecting something to sound like Gorillaz, and then it just not abandoning the idea. It shouldn't have been called Gorillaz.
Yes,
is my opinion.
But titled Humans, it's.
They're just saying we're abandoning that idea, but since we are acknowledging that we're abandoning the original idea, that's okay. I don't think that's a good excuse.
Which song is on that album, but there's like a weird part where someone's whispering Cool Clown Clan, and it's like, what the hell is this?
Okay, final verdict for me, 6 or 7. It's above average. It's above average. And I'd say it is their second worst, 5th best album.
I give it a 5, and it's my least favorite.
Least favorite.
I think the Now Now is better, but we'll get into that. So, the Now Now, 2018.
Now, any lore updates here?
Lore updates from the Now Now, yes. So at this point, Murdoch has found himself in prison. He is still in prison. And the first appearance we see of 2D, he has white eyes, which is different than we have seen before. And through his Twitter and some fan connections that he's made, it does seem to be that, and also from just his general appearance in the music video, it could be that he's happier and less stress from Gorillaz. So
actually, yeah, I did see on Reddit, Gorillaz is actually pretty active on Reddit. They were talking about what the black eyes versus the white represent, and I think the white represents curiosity and happiness, and the black is like anger and pain. And the fact that 2D's eyes have been black for most of the career just show how unhappy he was.
And Murdoch's in prison when his eyes turn white. I wonder why.
It's exactly it. It's a big thing about like they've always been not like, it's always been a Murdoch show, or at least what he thinks it's a Murdoch show, and then it's a 2D show, and he's just been allowing Murdoch to do this. And I feel with this time in prison, he has his white eyes, and that's fantastic. But confusing if we talk about how he got them in the first place, and now they can change color, but it's all right. We'll let it pass. Speaking of, they're active on Reddit, but each of the different members, if you didn't know, have different social media accounts. Noodle runs Twitter, or Instagram, and 2D has his Twitter. Murdoch doesn't have. He comments.
Doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve one. Yeah.
Murdoch has Facebook.
Yeah.
Face.
Yeah.
Dead and for old people. And steals your private information.
There you go. Yeah.
Thanks, China.
Transgressive.
But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you good?
One more thing. And then at the time, because they're missing Murdoch, obviously they still need a bassist. And why not none other than, I think his name is Ace from the Powerpuff.
Green guy, right?
The green guy who
Yeah.
appears in 2 of the videos is Ace from the Powerpuff Girls. He's like a side character, but apparently,
He's got cool glasses.
Yeah.
Green as well.
yes, he looks similar to Murdoch. And might I say, I think he was a nice rest from Murdoch. We love him, but we didn't get to learn much about Ace. But we do know that Damon was friends with the person who made Powerpuff Girls, and that's why he was able to add Ace, and you see references to the Gorillaz in Powerpuff Girls in
cool.
the newer
I
seasons.
did not know that.
Yes.
Sick.
Wow.
So thoughts on the track list? I mean,
No.
it's very mediocre.
Oh, this was what, a year after or 2 years?
This is 1 year.
1
So
year, yeah.
some of the same sentiments Kai has with Humans is what I have with the Now. I think it's mediocre pop tracks. Really nothing fantastic. It's just kind of like, this is good. I don't want to come back to this that much, but if it ever came on, I wouldn't complain. But it's just kind of sad seeing Gorillaz go in this like super generic and boring direction, which thankfully they abandoned with their most recent release. But yeah, it was definitely like a 5 out of 10 for me. Just mediocre.
Yeah, I think that they heard the criticism from Humans and they tried to go back to that old Gorillaz sound, but they didn't fully commit, and it just kind of sounds very, very bland. And the only track I can really pick out that I like from here is Humility, which the Jack Black.
He's in the music video. He's not actually.
Yeah, he's not
You keep
featured.
saying
song.
but as we've established from some of the other singles, anytime that it's just really 2D, it's basically, we can take that as Matt Damon taking his and
Damon
doing his
Albarn.
own. Sorry,
Matt
Matt
Damon does not make
Damon.
music.
Matt Damon is Gorillaz.
God, I wish.
Damon Albarn making his own thing. So the Now, because it's labeled as under the facts or the lore or whatever,
And
as
2D is the only one on the cover.
yes, as 2D's. Because of the missing of Murdoch, he takes his opportunity to write about whatever he wants. So I guess we can also just read that as, oh, this is Damon's time to, like, he kind of did whatever he wanted for this by himself. And it's shorter than most, right?
It's only 40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes. So I feel like it was mostly a Damon show for this.
Yeah, I get that too, but again, just track by track, I just think it's boring. I have no compulsion to ever revisit this record ever again.
But we've got something very fun coming up, and that
Okay.
is Song Machine
Well,
Season
verdicts
1.
on, but let's
Oh,
not move
you're
on
right,
just
you're right,
yet.
sorry.
Now I'm gonna give this one probably like a 3. I have no compulsion to ever come back.
I'll give it a 6. I mean, I enjoy listening to it, but again, like comparatively, it's not one that I necessarily want to come back to. And no track on it comes even close to the tracks on records like Plastic Beach or
And there's nothing offensive about it either.
Right,
You're
right.
not going to listen to it and go like, oh, what? No.
Yeah.
I need to skip this.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, it's fun to listen to. But
I think, yeah.
It's like Coldplay. It's like
oh god.
it's like just the definition of mediocrity. Like
You're really warming
no
up.
offense to you
Wow.
Coldplay fans
No,
out there.
Tons of offense.
Okay,
to
actually,
Coldplay
yeah,
fans.
sorry, guys. They're like the most generic
Save it for the
band
hot take. So
ever.
But that's why I'm
Ever.
so disappointed with this record, because that
Am
is
I
everything that Gorillaz isn't, and they're just embodying that on this record. That is
Yes,
all
okay,
they're
that was
doing.
actually really good.
Okay.
I do love early Coldplay. But
Yes,
Take-
Viva La,
take
is
it
it Viva
back.
La Vida? Is that what it's called?
The album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually really like that one. That is like a solid 7 or 8 for me, but the rest of it, just guys, oh god.
Side note, listening to Vivo or whatever
Industry
it is
plants.
just so amazing. Like, it's maybe because it brings a wave of like really strong nostalgia, because I grew up listening to the Minecraft parody version of that
Oh
song.
yes, absolutely. If you guys didn't listen to the Minecraft parody of this, what are you doing? That's real music.
Like plot, visually, lyrically, the Minecraft parody, that was the height. That specific one is the height of all of them. But then just, if you look at it, just the song, it is so good. It brings...
Welcome to the
Your
Coldplay edition of Soundchecks for the Pretentious.
My bad.
We
But
should do that at one point though, because I do
Coldplay.
like some of their albums. But
Yeah, let's do it.
Coldplay.
next
career.
one is Coldplay. That's it.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
it's settled, guys. We'll just have one record we like and then just trash them the rest.
all right, so drum roll. We're on our 6th.
The latest release this year from
Song
Gorillaz.
Machine Season 1, baby.
Woo! They're
You
back.
stole
Gorillaz
that
is
drum
back.
roll.
Got it.
Masterpiece, baby.
Neck is back.
How
baby.
many years has it been since the last album?
3?
3 years.
Two.
So
Two.
Two.
Just two.
2018.
It was pretty epic.
2020.
Now this time they decided to go with one thing, the single. That is what this album is
This
focusing
album-
on.
So the majority
In
of
the-
it came out as singles. So like I think 11. No. Like 9 out of the 17 tracks were just released
This
individually,
album-
and then they just released the rest of them on the album.
It's not about stories. It's not about like concepts. It is about making every single track a banger.
This
And that is 100%.
That is what they did.
Booyah.
This album is freaking amazing.
It's fire.
All the features are
There's a feature every.
excellently used.
I think that this is where they should have gone with features from the beginning. Is as it functioning as an individual song all the way through, the features work because it's not trying to form a cohesive album. It's just trying to make every single track really great as a banger.
Like how I was trying to say with humans, when the features don't add or take away when you don't have 2D, but I find myself not mad when you don't hear 2D singing in this album at all, because the features are they're so good that I don't care. They're distracted from it.
Elton John, Black.
Oh yeah,
great.
so Elton John and Black are on the Pink Phantom. That song is so good. Valley of the Pagans with Beck.
Peter
also
Hook,
amazing.
How he
Pac-Man,
got all
Schoolboy Q,
all of
What
these
was
artists.
featured?
I don't
Momentary
even,
Bliss with Slow Tie and Slaves. Guys, come on, this is some really good stuff right
Honestly,
here.
I'm surprised why more people really aren't. I mean, I'm not wrong when Elton John, one of the biggest
Artists
of all time. Kai, watch Rocket Man, just please.
I'll watch it if you make me.
And anyway, so that Elton John is in this album. If that says anything, Elton John signed his stamp of approval to this album, and
he's in a music video.
And he's
As
in a
animated.
music video. He went full in. He didn't just lend his voice. You could see he's probably passionate about it, because I don't ever see Elton helping or doing anything that he doesn't want to do.
True.
So if that says anything, and I don't know why more people aren't talking about it so older people solely because of Elton, because he hasn't been prominent in years, just because
Well, his new stuff, his old stuff continues to.
Oh,
And
yes,
honestly,
yes.
this feature on this album is really good. I was
At first-
excited to hear
It's
it.
glamorous.
At first, I was a bit I was a hard fan of Elton, and just hearing him with this Six Black, is that the
Yeah. Or Black, I guess. Is that?
Just
yeah.
fell with the 6.
6? So it was just in the same track of Elton. I was like, how dare this guy I don't know be in the same song as Elton? Isn't he big enough? Did they really think they needed to add someone to this? And now that I think about it, it's not, they're not saying that Elton isn't big enough on his own. It's also just another, again, their classic clash of two different things, but also changing and adding and showing people that you can mix these two very new and very nostalgic sounds together in one song.
So once again, Gorillaz has kind of lost their original purpose, and there's not much lore in this album
The
whatsoever.
music videos, though, are really
Music
good
videos
for
are pretty
this
cool.
one.
There is lore. There's one lore.
What's the
Murdoch
lore?
gets locked up in a suitcase.
There is sort of lore, and the most confusing thing is I feel like I'm talking a lot for this, but the
That's
most
why you're here.
Yes,
the most
we needed
confusing
you.
thing is the show was originally hyped. There was it was announced as a TV show, a TV series, a Gorillaz TV series, and that's what everyone thought they were getting. And it feels like either this was the plan all along, or that fell through, and they ended up just releasing this, because the songs are all called episodes as they were releasing with music videos, but they don't really go together, so it's kind of, that's what makes the lack of plot more evident. Not to say that there's no plot whatsoever. We do see in the De Soleil music video that Murdoch is feeling really sad because the rest of the band is doing fabulously without him. They're on the boat.
Does he lock himself in the suitcase, or I don't remember?
He locks himself in the suitcase.
Yeah.
Yes,
Deserves
He climbs in. It's really sad.
and he feels rejected or whatever, rejected on the couch. He's just really sad seeing everyone doing good, and okay. Good. He deserves
I
it.
mean, come on, this
Raise
guy.
your hand if Murdoch is an asshole.
We're all raising. Is Kai raising?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're all raising our hand.
But
He's the worst.
also-
He deserves it.
Yeah, it's good. He's got good character development out of
Yeah.
the entire band.
It's
Obviously,
sad, but
he's I think he's Damon's favorite, which is funny. And then at the very end, we do see with the GTA music video, which, by the way, if you've noticed, it's not on YouTube anymore. GTA copyrighted it.
What?
Yes.
Interesting.
So
Boo.
that's lame.
someone, yeah, you can
It's
only,
fair use. Screw you, Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar more like
yeah. Rockstar.
Rockstar.
Oh. Yeah, so, and then at the very end, we see the car, very reminiscent to, like, what we've seen in the old music videos, sink
2000.
into the water,
Well,
which we can only assume is a recollection of Plastic Beach, because we see something very similar happen with Plastic Beach. So, are they tied together? Are we going to start off with some more Plastic Beach-esque? Are we going to see more plot? Who knows?
I'm not going to complain
So,
if
yeah.
that's the case.
Again, Gorillaz not criticizing pop music anymore. They're just a pop band, and that's
But-
okay. But that's okay because
Yes.
they're making great music. If
Yeah,
they
if
were
we're
making
looking
great
at the
music,
it's great.
it is not. If you're comparing it to old Gorillaz, it is not the spirit of old Gorillaz, but they are making good music, and that is what's important.
Final score for this one.
I think it's their second best record. I'm giving it a 9.
I'm giving it a 9 too.
I'm there too. Second best.
It is.
There we
fine.
go. All right.
You think
So-
it's better than Demon
We're
Days?
done grading, but I have something to
Yeah.
say. Like,
Oh
this
my
album's-
god.
I enjoyed it more than Demon Days.
We need to rank our albums. So, Mr. Waller, you can start us off.
Like just going through my order.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so number 1 I got Plastic Beach.
Nice.
I'm putting Song Machine at number 2. Maybe premature because it came out this year. Maybe if I give it more time, I'll change that. But I really like it. Demon Days number 3. Number 4 is self-titled, and then, I mean, 5 and 6 really who cares? But
Yeah.
now would be at 5 and 6. Sorry, but I mean I feel like it's pretty.
Humans. Yeah.
it's
Okay.
pretty
Okay.
obvious.
Number 1, Demon Days. Number 2, Song Machine Season 1. Number 3, Plastic Beach. Number 4, Self-Titled. Number 5, Humans. And number 6, the Now Now. And going off of this latest record, the Now Now and Humans seems like just such a detour for Gorillaz as a career. Like they've just kind of left it
Yeah.
by the way. They've kind of willfully said like, yeah, that was a mistake, and moved on.
It's
They're
not
even-
hard to put those at the bottom of the list. Like
And
you can easily
And
say,
it's not hard to forget them and just
Yeah.
like just judge every other album independently.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the same as Mr. Waller's, but I'm switching Plastic Beach and, or I guess, yeah, so it'd be Plastic Beach, Demon Days, then Song Machine, and then, like, you know, Self-Titled and the Now Now and Humans. But, yeah, I mean, overall, to have to have 3 fantastic albums, I mean, can't really complain about that. And Self-Titled's good, too, but, like...
More than some of the best artists.
yeah, that's more than some really good artists out there. So like, more than Weezer.
I mean, like Velvet Underground made 4 of the greatest albums of all time in 4 years, but you know.
Don't talk about
Okay, well, we're not talking about that right now. I'm
We're
referring
only
to
talking about
referring to
Coldplay and the
Weezer,
Gorillaz.
Coldplay and the Gorillaz, basically the same. But yeah, no, really great career. It's nice to be a Gorillaz fan again because they actually had a really good release, and I'm thinking we'll get some more releases not too long in the future, and just at least
Season
not within
2,
7
baby.
years. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, the movie also that's coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah, they
yes,
announced
that
a
was
movie.
confirmed. Yes.
That would
And
be
if that
so.
ends up just being an hour-long song titled "Movie,"
That is
That would
fine
be
with me.
epic.
I would love to go watch that.
I hope they get like a big animation
with
studio.
no coherent visuals for
Yeah.
the entire
Yeah.
thing.
Hey, that'd
I'd
be
still
sick.
watch it.
It's just a still of 2D, and he blinks sometimes.
It's the same keyframe of
Yeah,
2D.
yeah, they use in the live
Jeez.
performance.
It's so annoying.
Hey, would you like to rank or?
Oh, I don't want to rank. Honestly, all my these 3 have done their stuff, and they lose. Anything I say is more of just
Which one's your favorite?
personal favorite album. I do like
Humans, right?
Demon. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you caught me.
Days.
Humans.
Human Days.
Human
come on.
Days. No.
Damon Days.
Matt Damon is
Matt
is your
Damon-
favorite
Matt
member?
Damon.
Damon's Days.
No, yeah, Demon Days and also Sound Machine. Partly because I feel closer to Sound Machine because it was the album that was coming out while I knew of Gorillaz. Because I kind of conveniently found out about it a month before they started rolling out Sound Machine, so it was just really good timing. And since I was there and able to appreciate every song, so that's always going to be a special place in my heart for any like Doctor Who fans. It's like when your favorite Doctor might be the first Doctor that you ever like saw for the first time, like your Doctor, but it's okay. My favorite thing that came from Sound Machine though is the appreciation for like Britpop. Okay, with like Melancholy Hill, I grew up with like so many like my dad who's like he he's always showed me his like The Jam and Madness and so many great like British musicians and British bands, and I just love hearing that. It's really in this album. And Melancholy Hill is just not Melancholy Hill. What's the one in this album with you like credentials? Momentary Bliss.
With
Yeah.
Slow Tie, yeah.
With Slow Tie. It is so good.
I
love it. All the lyrics and the poppiness, and then the references to this new age Britpop. I feel like a lot of the songs in England kind of sound like that now, but it's.
Yeah.
England is
show
my
Slow
city.
Tie some love. But anything else, guys?
Zooey Mama.
Zooey Mama. That has been a huge episode, guys. If you actually stood with us through the end, props to you for having that attention span that most people don't.
Which is
Damon Albarn, get your head out of your ass. And we like your music.
Murdoch, put your head in your ass.
Thank you for keeping. Because I believe that all of they kind of split. That's the agreements. Damon makes the music, and then Jamie Hewlett
And they
gets
just don't
to decide
talk.
all of the fun
Yeah.
behind. And they kind of talk. They talk. Of course they talk. He even showed up in the live.
Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll be back in a little bit. In the new year. It'll be a few weeks, but we'll see you guys then. Zooey Mama.
There is no God, nothing we do matters, and we're all gonna die. Thank you.
All right.